Well, welcome everyone to another 10-minute school tour. We're so excited to be on the school tour with, we've got our two founders here, Revo Academy, based in Thousand Oaks, California. We've got Tamy Sloboda as well as Niyome Bello. So welcome. We'd love to hear a little bit about your school. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you. We're happy to be here. So we are a microschool in Southern California. It's called Thousand Oaks, and we serve advanced and gifted learners. So for those students who tend to need a bit more challenge than what they get in a traditional private school or certainly a traditional public school, we are heavily project based. We follow something called the design thinking model, which allows students to move through their projects in a really methodical way that allows for strong critical thinking, a lot of iteration, a lot of evaluation, a lot of brainstorming. Um, by the time they've done a couple projects with us, they know that methodology pretty well, which helps guide them through a really meaningful project that applies to all subject areas. We also are an ability-based school, which means that students aren't tied to standards if they've already met them, or for some, if they might need some support in a certain area. So for many of our students, they're a couple grade levels above in reading or math or both. And that movement is really flexible. So it's self paced. In terms of social studies and science, it's a little bit different than pacing, it's more in depth. So it's sort of a greater curiosity around the concepts with hands on projects, with labs, field trips, discussions. Even their novels, a lot of time is tied to what they're studying in social studies and science and their writing pieces.
Well, that's great. And I bet they get to be out in the community a lot based on where you guys are located too.
We are very lucky because first the weather, right? So we do a lot of outdoor education. We have a really huge play yard here with an outdoor classroom. But aside from that, we really do try to take advantage of the outdoors as much as possible. So whether they're hiking, they're doing camping trips, they're out at Yosemite, Catalina, Anacapa for different science curriculum. That we also have a plethora of museums here in Southern California that we take advantage of. So we actually have students right now on a field trip today at JPL, which is really a rare experience. It's kind of a once in a lifetime experience to be able to go to JPL. So they're probably looking at some very interesting space stuff. What did we see last time when we went to JPL? The
The
Mars,
Mars rover.
yeah, the Mars rover. They had
Oh,
just finished. So
wow. So
kids still
for
talk
those
about
that
that
aren't local, JPL is the acronym for
for NASA, the NASA center where they sort of explore everything in space. It's really kind of incredible.
wow.
Uh, all the astronauts and scientists who study what's going on in above us. So that's a really rare opportunity. It's hard to get a field trip in there, but we actually do have some kids on that field trip today. But we do a lot of field trips, and some are heavy science based like that. Some are more just sort of outdoor education and um, you know enjoying unwalled classrooms. Um, and some are plays. We have in a couple weeks they're going to go see the play. What's the play they're going to see?
The
The
Nutcracker.
Nutcracker. Yeah. I wish I have a student who's starring in that play.
Classic. Oh, that's
Her.
great.
Yeah.
You get to support a student as well
Yeah.
that's doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes we go see the plays that are connected to their novels. We did that. I can't remember the novel of that one either. But so a lot of times because we're here in Southern California, a lot of their novels are connected to plays that are happening here. And so, yeah.
Yeah, that's always great when you can tie something into the content that you're teaching and learning about local events. We definitely did that all the time at our micro school as well.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah. The
curious.
Secret Garden was when they just did. They went to go see the Secret Garden play and they read the Secret Garden novel.
Oh, that's a great one
Yeah.
too. I'm curious about what was the impetus for you two in starting this school? Was there a need within the community or was it something that you two had specialized in prior?
Well, we both came from education, and I had a daughter who was identified as a gifted learner, which initially I didn't think would be an issue. We live in an area where there's, considered to be really good schools, and she would have her needs met, but she was really under challenged. And when I started talking with other parents, I was started to learn that this is a chronic issue that's been going on for decades in this district or maybe even this state. and nothing has really changed. So I tried to work with the district and get some change going. There was a large group of parents who were, all working together, and nothing would really um, make a difference. And so since I had actually had a background in education for many years, I started in my early 20s, and then I did wind up in corporate America, and I had built a company and I sold it to Wall Street in my 30s. So I had this background of both education and business development, and I have a PhD in industrial organizational psychology. So I wasn't planning to build a school, but since I had sort of the foundations already in place, and of course, most importantly, I had a daughter whose needs weren't being met. And no matter how many schools I visited here in California, they still weren't able to really meet the needs of a gifted learner. Um, I thought I would do something crazy and just try it myself. So we're now in our 11th year, and luckily, Naomi and I were introduced to each other, and her story's similar as well in terms of her experience with.
It really is about a personal connection for me and for most of the people that work here. Myself, growing up with a gifted education in Florida, just knowing what that can do for you, and also having most of my family members who are identified as well. It just really is about understanding these kids and having a really unique understanding of what they need and how they operate, and being able to offer them that. It's really like a personal mission for me.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's great to hear about. Well, yeah, you're really primed well to be in the school space, having the business background and then also having an education foundation too. So that's great to hear you guys have been around for this is your
11
11th
years.
school year.
Yeah.
That's great. Fantastic. So I don't know, do you want to walk around the space and show us a little bit about it? Or otherwise we can hang tight and you can tell us a little bit about some of the facilities. It's up to you.
Sure, we can show you around. It's always a surprise when we open a door. So if you're willing to take these surprise open door experiences with us, we will take you on a tour.
Let's do it. Let's
Okay,
do it.
let's do it.
We
Okay.
always like a good surpriser tour.
Yeah. So we've been around about the same amount of time you guys, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And how many students do you currently serve, or what's the kind of capacity?
We're just under 100 students. Our capacity is about 120. We're a micro school, right? So we'll stay small,
Hmm.
but about 120. Okay, I'm going to take you in a room right now. They're probably in the middle of. Oh, music. It's music.
Explain what the next song is going to be. So, first things first, we have Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell Rock. When we get to the second verse of that, like after we've done it one full run, Tinsley and Emma in the other class are gonna do Jingle Bell Rock, all the way to in the frost.
So that is our music teacher for our third grade gifted class. This is a project they just did. Now, can you tell them a little about that project? This is a project they just did in science with our older kids. You want to talk a little about it?
So it's a timeline of scientific discoveries. So each kid kind of studied one significant scientific discovery, and then they made their own predictions of what might happen in the future. So the ones after now are predictions that the kids make of what technology and science, what innovations may come.
Oh, I love that. You've got the historical and also the futuristic viewpoints there.
Yeah. They did their illustrations to match it and their write-ups on what their predictions are. This
That's
is
great.
our elements wall, which whenever the kids have time, they could just grab a blank canvas and they create an icon to represent the elements, which helps them sort of remember the element charts. Our students are obsessed with the element chart. So
It's a
this is
vital part of the school.
yeah, this is our fourth grade gifted. The teachers don't know I'm coming in, so it's a surprise.
Hey, I know.
This is our teacher on the floor doing a project.
Hi.
What are you guys working on?
We're working on reading.
Hi, we are reading the book Wonder, so they're doing a little annotating right now in the author's point of view, and then we're gonna switch gears and we're learning about migration in California. So we're doing like a role play gold rush, like first person project. So they all have their own characters. We've done backstory. And so we're trying to blend history and storytelling with actual like historical research.
Oh, very cool. That sounds
So
fun.
we're about ready to get into our first day of the journey. Things we're doing.
Thank
He's working
you.
on a map down there on the floor. I'm just bringing this on them, so sorry. I didn't mean to surprise you.
That's okay.
Okay. Is this helpful or is it hard to see?
No, it's okay. It's good. It's
Okay.
good. So you guys have several
So this
classrooms and
is
you have some
one of our
outdoor
PE
space
teachers
too.
here.
Oh, hey
Hi.
everybody.
It's Brandon,
Nice to meet you.
fan favorite. The students are just leaving this room, but I will show you. This is our first grade classroom. They're working on a sound and light project. They just read Fantastic Mr. Fox. Oh, yeah, it's our first grade. They're already reading on probably some of them several grade levels above.
Oh, yeah, that's a
Some of
pretty
our
challenging
artwork.
book, Fantastic Mr. Fox.
See, it's Miss Granato's in here, right? Well, that's a sub, so I will spare you from that room. We'll take you into our kinder room. So this is our, can you see the, I don't want to interrupt. I'm just gonna let them see for a second.
Okay, opposite, okay. Oh, they don't need to see you, they're watching us. The seasons are opposite down there, okay, so that's what they mean. All right, let's keep watching. Spring is on Earth.
So we're learning about the seasons right now. There's my data. There you go, Lovey. See?
Oh, that's great.
This is some of our math artwork that use geometry to create math artwork. This
Very
is a
cool.
classroom. Our students are out right now, but this is a classroom. This is the class that's at the JPL. It's our older students' classroom. You see the periodic table again. Some
Oh, these are
tessellation.
beautiful classrooms, really spacious and light.
Yeah, there is a lot of light, which I do like. Here's our design thinking model that we were telling you about that we use for all of our projects. It starts with empathizing, a deep understanding of why what you're learning matters. You can see that. And
Oh,
then it
yeah.
goes to defining where you really try to hone in on what exactly it is you're trying to answer, what question you're trying to answer. And then you're generating ideas and brainstorming, building your prototype and testing it. So all of our projects follow that model. I'll show you. Let me see if her poster's up in here. Oh, it's in the back door. I'll show you some other things that help. So this is, we have a social emotional learning program. It's a prevention program that we do in every classroom. So once a week, our head of school goes in and teaches a lesson around interpersonal and intrapersonal skill building. And so one of the first skills we teach is perspective gauging. So they learn through skits and role playing. Give me 1 second, sorry. What's a small problem, medium problem, big problem, or huge problem? And then it's, does your response size equal does your problem size equal your response size? So they start to learn about 80 to 90% of their problems are 1 to 2, and they can solve it on their own, right? They're empowered to solve it on their own. You can ignore it, like, oh, they skipped my turn. Do I make a big deal out of it, or do I just ignore it? Or you can do rock, paper, scissors. We do a lot of rock, paper, scissors here, especially at recess. And then they also start to learn when it's a bigger problem and they need to actually address it and confront it. And how do you do that, right? How do I speak assertively versus passively or aggressively? What does that look like? We practice a lot of I statements so they know how to do that. And then, of course, once something escalates, then you need an adult. So this helps us a lot. The first
Yeah,
thing we
that's
ask,
really, really, really practical.
yeah, the first thing we always ask students when they have a problem is, what size is it? And a lot of times they'll just giggle and be like, it's a 1, you know. But then sometimes, you know, it's bigger and that we give them the time and space to really address it and have that constructive dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh, that's fantastic.
yeah, I would show you another. Let me see if I could, one more poster that helps explain the school. Let's go over this way. So this poster which says depth of knowledge. This is another poster. I know it's a little loud in here, but this sort of explains how we operate. So for most schools, they're sort of here, we call them basic application. For us, we are very much for strategic thinking and extended thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So Revo Academy lives here. That's the sorry guys. That's the that's the distinct difference. Okay, they all froze when we walked in. So I know that was kind of rushed and the camera
Yeah.
work was shoddy, but
Hey, you know what? We want an authentic tour. We want something, so you gave it to us. So we really appreciate it. And
yeah.
and I'm curious, I would love to hear about what kind of difference that you guys have made for some of your learners or within the community. Do you have parents or families that have said that it's been really useful for their children navigating the world that have come in and out of your school?
Yeah, we are really conscious and intentional about ensuring that even though we're a micro school and we're small, that we don't create a sheltered environment. So we don't solve their problems for them. That's why we put so much emphasis on the front end with the program I was just mentioning, the social emotional learning program. Every week they learn a new skill, whether it's communication skills, coping skills, healthy friendship building, effective apologizing, time management, whatever it is, the perspective management. And that gives them those skills so that whether they're in a small environment, medium-sized environment, big environment, they really can hold their own and navigate on their own, no matter how chaotic or ambiguous it might be. It gives them a strong foundation. And so for our students, even though they may be coming from our micro school, when they graduate 8th grade, because we don't do high school, the feedback we get, and we keep in touch with most of the alumni, they'll come back and volunteer here. Some of them are working for us now, but they are really thriving, and not just academically, which we assumed would, never be sort of an issue for them, but they're thriving in terms of their interpersonal relationships. They're on sports teams, they're in student government and leadership clubs, and they do not feel intimidated or daunted by the larger setting because we build everything from our curriculum to the way we address issues or problems in a manner where they are the active participant in leading in that discussion and ensuring that success. So they cannot rely on us to solve their problems, and they know that. But they also know that we'll teach them the skills and give them the time and space to practice them so that they really start to feel comfortable in their skin.
Oh, that's so wonderful to hear.
Yeah. I don't know if that
I,
was your question. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I mean, it is. It absolutely is. I always love to hear about students thriving and the sort of scaffolding that you're providing. That's something that, I mean, it sounds like with that social emotional program, I mean, they're ready for a lifetime of success. I think that I need that poster in my room to think about how big my problems are because sometimes they feel like a four, but they're probably a one.
Yeah.
So.
No, my mom will call me with a problem, and the first thing I say to her sometimes is, "What size problem is this?" She's in her 80s, so.
Yeah, well, that's really wonderful to hear that the students have had such success when they're going later in life, going to their next schools, matriculation, and their careers. And then, of course, how great to have your students that want to come back and work with you too.
Mhm.
That's also a really great sign.
Yeah, no,
So,
that makes us really happy.
so before we close, if people want to find out more, what's the best way? Do you guys have regular open houses? Would you check out the website? What sort of events do you have for people that are curious?
We do tours every, excuse me, every month, the first Monday of every month, from 10:30 to 11:30. And they fill up. So that's a really good way to get a formal experience of what a day in the life is like here. And then we do some private tours for parents who may not be able to make that tour, or if they're looking to make a switch quickly. And of course, you can always give us a call, and we're happy to talk to you over the phone as well. Our website gives a lot of information, but the best bet is to give us a call and try to make one of those tours so you can see the classrooms in action and meet the teachers. And then once we have parents to the school and they feel like this may be a fit for their child, the process then is for obviously the parents to fill out the application and provide the information. But we do an assessment here on campus, and it's not daunting. It's mostly critical thinking, and it's a lot of game-based, sort of critical thinking type games. But it does give us a good sense in terms of if this sort of approach is a good fit for that student. And then we do also require a trial day. Usually one day is sufficient, but sometimes we'll require a couple of days. It does both things, right? It gives us a really strong bird's eye view, but it also really helps the child see if this feels like a coat they could wear, right? If it feels comfortable for them. And then they can also share things with the parent that we wouldn't know, to share about, sort of how they felt with the kids and the teacher and the environment. So that's the process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, great. Well, we'll put a link in when we put it up. And thank you so much for showing us around. What a great school. I hope I can visit it in person sometime soon.
Oh, we would love that. Yes, please do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you.
You as well.
Me
Thank
too.
you.